It's been
Oh
a
my
minute.
God. It has been a while. I was not expecting that.
I know you wasn't.
I was not expecting that.
What's good, Cowboys Nation? Welcome into episode 10 of the Sky into Eye show. And we got a fantastic one set up for you guys. It's been a week. The Cowboys have been out there at training camp. They are on a break today. We have a lot to discuss. Coming up, we are going to talk about what has happened with these injuries. We're going to play a little bit of a game called This Ain't That. So stick around for that. That will be fun. And our sister, my sister,
Oh my God.
2I, is going to be at camp this week, ladies and gentlemen.
I am. It's my first time getting out there, y'all. I'm ecstatic. I don't know what to do with myself.
I'm
I still
excited
gotta
for you,
pack.
but I can only imagine how excited you are to get out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, listen, there's a lot of people's eyes I trust, but as someone that has had the opportunity to spend time with scouts, I don't trust nobody's more than mine.
Hey, that's okay.
I don't trust
That's
nobody. I want to hear your opinion because I'm really humble about the fact that
yeah.
I am still learning, understanding concepts. Like we were just talking before we came on, guys like Foots, Matt Owen, John Owen, like those are people that Brian, obviously, of course, I go to like learn, but I do feel like seeing stuff I can see it. I just need to I need to see it myself.
It is definitely when it comes to camp, it is different because a lot of people are viewing different things, and it's
Mhm.
impossible to cover the whole entire field.
Yeah.
So, if you go down there with a goal in mind, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna focus on this day or this hour or this 10-minute period. I think you will come away trusting your eyes better than a few clips. That's why even, when I'm doing guest spots and things like that, I always defer to people that are there at camp as opposed to, maybe what I've seen or just read about a certain clip or what have you. Yes,
Mhm.
I'll acknowledge the clip. I'll acknowledge, the reports, but hey, what did you see? What did you see? And is this adding up
Is it
with
consistent? Is it
what's coming
consistent?
out?
Yeah, because we can get those clips, but that could be one clip. And I think that shout out to Vach. I think that
Major.
Brian giving him some kudos on the fact that, just going down there and being like, hey, I know a lot of people got a lot of questions about O-line, and obviously we got a few more now. Um, Yeah, and him taking the time to just sit there, and just watch O-line for us, push out clips for us, that was really helpful. So I'm considering doing so. I know we're gonna get into it, but I think I'm gonna do a couple things like that for while I'm
Yeah.
down there as well.
We do have so y'all know of, if you don't know of the segment, we have a segment called Eye in the Sky with 2I. We're going to carry that over into the season. So we're going to kind of take that, remix it, and we're going to
Mhm.
ask 2I, where are those eyes going to be in the
Mhm.
sky when she's out there at Oxnard this week? I'm excited because we're going to get her boots on the ground for the show. And we're
Mhm.
going to have a couple things we're going to do to drop maybe throughout the week as well while she's down there. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Hit the like button if you enjoy the Sky and 2I show. Subscribe to the channel. We are just beginning this thing, and I'm
Yeah.
excited for it, man. I'm excited for it.
Yes,
Let's
me too.
let's take care of some house cleaning, if you will, 2I, real quick
Okay.
before we jump into some of these other segments. Right
Okay,
before the
Tim.
show, there was some news that came down. Another injury in the
Dog.
cornerback room. Kalen
Dog.
Carson. I don't know what they're going to do out there, in regards to bodies, but let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. That's what's happening right now. All the quarterbacks are getting hurt, or they're out, or they're having babies, something, And Kalen Carson suffered a hyperextended knee. He will be out 4 to 6 weeks, per Todd Archer, I believe. And the Cowboys signed cornerback Christian Matthew. He played with the Ravens on their practice squad the last 2 years. Former 7th round pick, was with with Arizona and
Mhm.
Chicago. Are we? Hey,
Dog.
Kyrie Elam, it's up to you,
Dog.
dog.
Dog. I This is stressing me. Like, because as you see this defense and just kind of how they're moving, all the reports that's coming out, how fast they're playing, they're taking the ball away and stuff. I do think that, like, listening to some of the information about the linebackers, like, there are some things, obviously, the edge room to be looking forward to. But man, this secondary just seriously cannot take another hit from the corner position. Obviously, Kalen Carson being out, and this is huge for him to me. We were looking for him to possibly take a step forward this year and return
Yeah.
from injury, and then here he is injured again, and my heart goes out to him, but availability is really important in this game, and that is starting off as a problem with him here. And so, not surprised though, because I've talked to him and he's very aware of the fact that like he had injury issues in college too. So
Yeah.
this isn't necessarily a new thing. It just sucks, dog. Like, and
It's a
then
setback for him for sure.
yeah, it's definitely a setback for him. And then what's really interesting to me, and again, I'm so glad that you said yesterday. I heard you say yesterday, like, "Hey, man, well, like with these injuries, like we need to, wait for people to give us the right information and pass it on and stuff like that because, people are kind of analyzing Savon Ravel's clips and things like that. And for me, I'm just like, at this point, I'm not gonna speak on him until I see like them definitively say something about him because
Right.
from our knowledge, like we thought this was someone that was gonna be ready like during camp. And he might still be ready during camp, but there's just no word on it, and I'm just not gonna keep talking about it. So Trayvon sounds like he could be ready as September, I think that Calvin said, but we just don't know. It's just too many questions. So we gotta just play the guys. Cowboys gotta just play the guys they got right now.
Hey, Christian Matthew, I'm gonna let you finish, but
Hey, bro, you got a phone call.
that phone call right there is our guy Gilly.
Bruh.
I'm picking up the
At this
phone,
point,
man.
at first it was cute. It was cute. You tried it, right? You know what I'm saying? You tried it. You tried to allow guys, their opportunities, had them out there. Um, it does seem like the secondary has been playing
True.
pretty well because
They've been
the
competing.
wide receivers, yeah, they're competing because CD and GP haven't had the days they were having in the beginning since these pads have come on, which I thought would kind of level the playing field a little bit. So corners can kind of at least press, jam at the line a little bit, get their hands on guys a little bit at the very least, and then, start affecting the play more since there's pads on. But I think it's been Izzy on the boundary, right? Keemon Hall has been playing some nickel, and then Khair Elam has been on the other boundary, and it's been good, and it's had rough days, but also too that pass rush has a lot to do with that.
I was going to say the saving grace, I think, for the secondary in general, I think the season will be the pass rush and the scheme. It's the scheme is DB friendly. If you listen
Mhm,
to Matt Eberflus, he says that's why we always were high in interceptions. You go look at his history; they're always
mhm.
like top 5, top 10 in getting interceptions because it's DB friendly in that way. And then this pass rush is going to be so nasty that maybe you can get by, with maybe not top tier cornerback play. However, you do get Deron Bland back. Hopefully
Yeah,
Diggs finds his footing.
yeah,
Khair Elam is showcasing that, first round talent right now. So you do have talent out there. You just
mhm.
have to get them all back playing at the same time because for how many years we really never got all top three of the guys on the field at the same time. I'm hoping that changes this season.
Yeah, I'm wondering what they're if you get Khair Elam on the outside, and I'm excited for him. I can't wait to get the opportunity to speak to him because I think we were at OTAs and I was like, "He feisty."
Yeah.
I tweeted like, "Hey, like this guy's feisty and he seems confident," and I know a lot of people still have questions because I heard Foots and y'all last night. Foots was like, "Is this real or is this not real?" And I'm like, "Nah, bro. Like I've been seeing it for
Kid is showing he can
months
play.
now." Yeah, he's shown he can play, but I also too, like you mentioned, Sky, it's a DB friendly scheme, but I think it's specifically more friendly for him. And I heard him on the fan kind of talk about what happened in Buffalo is like there were times he was expecting to start, then he was on the inactive list, and it just sounded like, he needed a different place to be. But anyway, him, I think the only thing would be the nickel spot. I mean, and Keemon Hall is feisty and he's battling, and I like the tenacity from him, but I also want to see like get my eyes on is he like how consistent he's because you're gonna lose some, you're gonna win some, like you said at corner. But is it more than another? Is it
Yeah.
is it you know what I'm saying? Like I want to get a look at him because I really think him and Israel Mukwamu might be interchanging at that nickel spot, depending
I'm
on.
still putting a pin in this whole room because what happens when Diggs, Bland, and Revel are all playing? I think that'll change everything in regards to where people are going to be.
Mhm.
So I love what I'm hearing about Kyrie Elam and Troy Pride, guys like that, what have you. But it's still a big question mark because when
Yeah.
those dudes are out there, I do think there's going to be some maneuvering, if you will.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, your depth will switch, obviously. Like, well, your the way that the roster is constructed in a sense, like, it'll switch. Like, you definitely will see some guys get moved around, but like I said, because we don't know where that is, I'm working my mind is moving forward as though these are your through camp right now. These are the guys that are gonna be out there, and that's what I gotta evaluate.
Yesterday, too, I heard this sound and
Boy, dog.
and Ian Rappaport shook Cowboys Nation to its damn core and
Dude.
said that Tyler Guyton feared to have an ACL injury, and the collective nation just was like, "Come
Bruh.
on, dog! Are you
I
you got to be kidding me, right?" And I just was frustrated because Guyton was having a really good camp of growth. You were seeing
Mhm,
things from him, or you were seeing him, grow in certain areas that were struggled last year. Now we needed to see continued consistency and get into preseason and things like that.
mhm.
So we're all hurt. Then, as this is happening, shouts out to B, shouts out to Vosh. They're like, hey, hold up, real quick, man. This
Hey, yo,
ain't
chill, chill,
this
chill.
this ain't come down just quite yet. And Adam
Mhm.
Schefter dunks on
Eh,
Ian Rappaport and says, "Not so fast, my friend. This is not an ACL injury. His ACL is indeed intact. Instead, it's
mhm,
a bone bruise and a knee sprain, I believe. So you're out the water or out the woods from that, but he'll
mhm.
miss 4 to 6 weeks." Let's discuss two different things here. First, a lot of people
Whew.
have heard my thoughts on other platforms in regards to the scare, but initially, just where did your brain go for the Tyler Guyton injury, and then I want to discuss um, solutions while he is out, if you will.
Yeah, I felt, immense sadness and, frustration. I was really upset. I was upset, like,
Yeah,
I'll
man.
have to tell you offline, but I was upset. I was just like, "Dog, like, this can't be happening again, bro." Like,
Again.
and honestly too, it's just, when you like, when you see a kid work the way that he's worked and, really try to improve in his mentality and stuff, like, you wanna see them do well. Like, I think sometimes people get looped into some of the pessimism that they just put that on a lot of the players. And I'm like, dog, no, this kid has put in a lot of work this off season. And I think the biggest thing that
Yeah.
stands out to me in his game in general, from what I've seen from the clips, are is just his calmness through the rep. There's just far less panic. You know what I'm saying? That
Hmm.
there's a lot more control in his demeanor. And I do think that he is realizing how to use his anchor, because anchoring is a timing thing as well. It's not just a some guys naturally know how to time it, some guys have to work when to anchor. And I think that his anchor has gotten stronger, and he wasn't relying on just that athleticism to get him through reps. Also, the knee bend. This is a very tall guy. This is a tall player, and for him to sit down and to stay in his stance and to be comfortable there, it speaks to his core strength and his balance. And I'm proud of him for making those improvements. And then obviously I think Botch broke down the hands, which is something I'm still learning. So I'm not gonna just do a whole bunch of talk about that. But he's still working his hands, but it just looks cleaner.
Mm.
And to see him come out, improve, go against guys like Dante Fowler, Izuraku, Sam, those guys, and he's showing up. And we saw him struggle against Bendy, Speedy, edge rushers last year. It's like, okay, dog, and me and Sky, we've been talking about it. You are super excited about this interior,
Yes.
but I don't want your tackles to be such a weak point that it takes away from the rest of your offense. I want the tight ends, Hunter Lipke, those guys. Like, I want them to be involved in what is happening in the passing game and not have to always overcorrect for the tackles when and your interior is so good.
Yeah.
So you just waiting for, like, you hoping, like, Terrence Steele came out there yesterday.
Look good.
I don't know, like, one thing about his toughness has to be studied, but he comes out there, we see him moving guys up the ball, getting upfield, setting up guys for screens and stuff like that against the outside. It's like, okay, I ain't too much worried about you, Terrence. And then Adeniji. How do you say this gentleman's name? Is it Adeniji?
I believe it's
Jai?
Adeniji.
Adeniji.
But
Because
I could be wrong. It could be
the way
Adeniji,
that
but
John was pronouncing it last night, I was like,
we can call him Kadeem. Is it
Kadeem.
Kadeem? Let me go find out. You
It
keep
is. It's
going. I
Kadeem
believe it's Kadeem,
Adeniji.
or is it Akeem?
It's Akeem. Like
Okay, Akeem. I'm sorry,
Akeem.
not. Oh,
Not
Hakeem.
Hakeem.
Hakeem Adeniji.
It's Hakeem like
Yes.
on Moesha?
Kadeem, Hakeem. Yes,
Hakeem?
Hakeem.
Ha,
Hakeem. Yeah.
ha,
Hakeem Adeniji, who was, we were talking about
Hakeem.
just having a pretty solid camp
That's what I was saying.
and
That's what I
getting.
was saying. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, you got a formidable right tackle, backup right tackle. Cool. Like left tackle is what we've been really looking at. And it's just like if one of them, if they can come on with it, this offensive line could be better than just like, oh, they're just good. I think this offensive line could really move people off the ball with that interior being that strong.
Duke said it was one of the most talented rooms he's seen in Dallas in a long time, and from an interior standpoint, I had agreed because
Mm,
you have three monsters as starters, and then we got to remember guys like T.J. Bass is a backup, guys like Brock Hoffman is a backup. We're seeing Rob Jones, who started for a while, but he went out with a broken neck. Who else did? Oh, Nate Thomas is has some talent, and he's out there. And speaking of
yes.
him, we did avoid a crisis with Guyton. So that's great. But in the short term,
Yes.
he's going to be out. So who fills in that void? And I've always said this about different rooms: break the pool stick, throw it in there, and let them fight it out. I would love to see Adeniji or Adeniji, or however, I don't want to mispronounce it, but Hakeem. Um, I want to see Nate Thomas
Yes.
and Awesome Richards kind of
Mm-hmm.
fight this thing out to take hold of that left tackle backup spot. If I'm not mistaken, right now it is Hakeem who is getting
Mm-hmm.
that veteran call up right now. But I've seen some good things from Nate Thomas. Awesome Richards is getting some good praise from other people too. So let's let these guys, I think, battle it out and fight for that left tackle spot behind Awesome. And whoever doesn't win, maybe they become that right tackle.
Now I don't want no scrubs. I'm trying to put the
No.
best peppers. Oh, no.
Okay. Sorry.
So I did not. That's okay. you need help. No, I mean like it, obviously crisis averted.
Yeah.
I know you gentlemen were talking yesterday about like timeline and things like that. Obviously, Nick Harris reported that it's not ruled out completely. We could see him before game one. What I will say that matters to me is like I think you said it. Like if it's 2 weeks before the game and he's cleared,
Let's
practice
go.
him,
Let's
ramp him
roll.
up, get him ready. But if it's like a little closer than that, I
Yeah.
think you run with the guy that you've been installing with because they're gonna start prepping for Philly. Hell, they might be prepping for Philly now.
They starting that now. The thing,
Like,
the thing about it is, the Cowboys are playing on a Thursday.
hmm
So if he's not ready, like you said, about a week or two before,
hmm
yeah, just go ahead and let him miss that first week so we can have that extra, just a 10-day rest, right? So it's kind
yeah.
of like a mini bye to start the season and get
hmm
him ready for week two. Either way,
Oh, I
Tuah,
hadn't even thought about it that way, but that's great. That's a good point.
either way, as long as this doesn't turn into a Deron Bland situation of last year, where hey, DB will be back week 4. We ain't see DB till like week 12 or whatever it was. It could be hyperbolic right there, but
Oh,
we didn't see him for a long time. So that's where, excuse me, I don't want this to be that, right? I don't
yeah.
want this to turn into, hey man, 4 to 6 weeks turns into 8 to 12 weeks. So that's something to keep in mind.
Well, I mean, it's a fracture. Sounds like it said it's a fracture and a knee sprain,
Yes.
correct? So, bones they heal, but players have to trust them once they get back. You know what I'm saying? So we might have to be patient about his process. Now I know he's probably going to be working hard to get back, but I want to be patient about
Yeah.
him trusting his own physical body to do the things you want him to do. And also too, like I was saying before, if one of these other guys shows up, plays well through camp, plays well through preseason, and they're ready to go and he needs a little bit of time, let's just lean into that and get going. But anyway, I don't want to have to max protect. I
Well,
can't take it anymore.
Well, they're gonna ask a lot of these tight ends, but I'm hoping it's not the max protect all the damn
I
time.
beg of thee. I can't take it anymore. I'm so tired of my.
Not just the max, but the little chip didn't get out. Everything was
Yeah.
all flats fried hard for these tight ends last year, and
The
I'm just
chipping
tired
go
of it.
both ways.
Yeah, man.
Baby, it's
Yeah,
hurting them tight ends just as much to hurt them DNs.
yeah.
Like,
That's real.
that's
That's
what I'm
real.
saying. Like, I don't want to have to. Lord have mercy. I just feel like it would alter your offense. A Foot said it. I know Foot said it. He was like, it cuts your playbook in half. He ain't
No,
lying. Like,
it definitely alters it for
I don't
sure.
want you to have to do that. So hopefully one of these other gentlemen step up and they're formidable enough or they're good enough to be able to maintain some of that level of play so you don't have to alter so much of what you want to do offensively, dog. Cause I'm not in. I can't do it.
She ain't even went down to camp yet. She over that. She said, I bet not see a chip. I don't want to see no dip, Utz, Middlesworth, Lay's, Doritos, none of it. I don't want none of that from my time. I feel you. I feel you too. I do.
Not you. I'm going to Cali. You telling me like I don't want to see no damn guacamole either.
I feel you, man. Just a little bit. Let's pivot real quick, man. Let's play a game. It's time to play the game. That's my wrestling right there. We're gonna play a game.
Isn't that how they laugh?
Hey, okay, I see you.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna play a game of this ain't that. For those that may not be familiar with that vernacular, if you hear our people say this ain't that, that basically mean don't test that particular person or this particular situation because it ain't that particular person or that particular situation. So, we're going to take that and combine it with the Cowboys. And I want to talk about either some players or some roles from the past that maybe ain't what they may be for 2025 to us. So
Jesus.
I want to start off with a guy that, we've been excited about in OTAs, and I think it's carrying over here in training camp, and KaVontae Turpin. This ain't that with KaVontae Turpin. What he is going to be, or seems like how he's going to be used in 2025, ain't what it was in 2023 and 2024, or it is going to be ratcheted up a little bit or a lot of it, whereas he is now going to be a legitimate weapon week in, week out.
Oh yeah, this ain't that. This ain't you, the mirage you would see, and then all of a sudden he's no longer involved in the offense. I think and I think we got to see this, like we got to see this at minicamp, man. We got to see this some at OTAs. Is that when anytime they were doing different skill position things, KaVontae Turpin would go do returns and all that stuff, but then he would be with the receivers, and then he would go work with the running backs and practice handoffs and practice those things. And I really feel like from the reports coming out, like this is a consistent thing. And I believe that Shoddy, and he's spoken on it, he's brought up KaVontae Turpin. He sees KaVontae Turpin as a weapon that you can utilize, and defenses are going to have to respect later down the line. I think that KaVontae Turpin's presence sets up stuff for other guys, and it also sets up for him to make plays later in the season. So for me, like you getting to see him do some things in the slot, you getting to see him do some things coming out of the backfield, dropping into the flats. He's been everywhere, it sounds like, and I don't think that Shoddy is BSing us with his usage. And with the running back room, which we're gonna get into, I think we're gonna see a sprinkle of a lot of different guys. Obviously, CD Lamb's talked about it, Turpin. I think we're gonna see different guys carry the ball in different ways in general.
You brought up the running back situation in regards to the wide receivers and other guys. Here's some numbers from KaVontae Turpin. He had 16 snaps in the backfield in 2024, 18 snaps in the backfield in 2023. I have to imagine that number is going to go way up.
Yeah.
And based off of what we're seeing at training camp, but also because there's not a workhorse in that backfield, and B, a guy back there that has so much capital allocated to them that there's politics or what have you going on. So,
Yeah.
there's no Ezekiel Elliott, making $19 million a year. There's no Tony Pollard on the franchise tag. There's no bringing Zeke back because the owner, loves him or what have you. This backfield, there's no guy. It's not the guy. So I think Turpin could see that number double, maybe even triple in the backfield. And from a usage standpoint, last year he did get utilized more. He had 31 receptions, 420 yards, 512 scrimmage yards, and about 11 yards per touch. Turpin was effective. He was efficient when he
Mhm,
touched the rock last year. I
mhm.
think they're just going to find more ways to consistently utilize him and get him to touch the ball this year. And what I love about what he can be a low volume, high impact guy. There are a handful of
Absolutely.
those dudes on the team, maybe two or three, and he is 100% one, maybe the top one on this team.
Yeah, this is an offense that's going to emphasize, from what I've seen and I understand, they're gonna emphasize, dictating tempo and, working explosives off of that tempo to me. I think they're gonna try to hit people in the mouth unexpectedly in different places. But they do want to be able to sustain drives. And honestly, I think that fits what the NFL is today. It's like, yeah, there are teams that can methodically work the clock, but what really helps them is that they can keep your defense guessing and hit people in the mouth unexpectedly, to create friction. And I think that he's a guy too that I know with him paired with Milton, like you see some of the stuff that they're doing with the RPO game and working off the RPO is the fact that it's threatening and then handing the ball to Turpin. Like you already stressed out about the fact that your guy's mobile. We're gonna maybe touch on the fact that the quarterback just running around like a chicken
He
with his head
moving.
cut off.
He moving.
He moving.
Yeah.
Like he ain't. And I saw a lot of people before I move on, saw a lot of people panicking at the beginning of camp. Like, why the hell is he running so much on day 3? I'm like, good. So he can condition his body to be ready for that because
Yeah.
he'll never admit it, and I understand, like, maybe he won't say it out loud, but the fact that he hadn't ran and then he just took off that game when
Oh,
he
that's
hadn't been really running like that, and then he just took off. Dog, with me,
so he was scrambling, but it wasn't all great.
it wasn't no running like that. I see grass, I'm about to plant
To
and
your
go,
point though, I think he's training to be a little more mobile. I don't
and
know if
that's
he
what I like.
trained to be mobile last year. I mean, yes,
Absolutely.
does he, train and run and things, but it feels like mentally and physically he's like, okay, look,
He's
I've got to use this aspect of my game.
he's making
Yeah.
it second nature again.
And
He's
honestly, we say
it's
this
not
a lot of times in sports. When you're
yes.
thinking about not getting injured or an injury, you usually get injured.
Yeah.
It's like you ever hear of the I don't know medically for my doctors out there. I can speak on this. Like if you get in an accident or if you or something like that, if your body tenses up, it actually is worse for you. If you're more relaxed, it's better for you in a sense. I could be totally wrong here, but maybe that's just stuff I've seen on like documentaries and research.
I don't know.
All my doctors corrected me here for bro.
I
But
don't
it
know.
feels like with Dak, man, I think he is teetering on injury prone, if not injury prone already. Whether you want to call it freak accidents, it doesn't matter. Dude gets injured pretty much every year. It happens. That's injury prone. And when you tear your hammy off the bone running, or just not even running, dropping back, hey dog, like you starting to creep there. But he's a competitor. He's not going to be a guy that's not going to take off when he absolutely has to have it, or if it's there out of I don't want to tear my hammy. He's going to do it. So if you're going to do it, bruh, prepare.
Yeah, and I think that's what he's doing. I think
Yeah.
he's truly trying to make it to where it's not something he thinks about. He just goes. It's natural to him again to do it. And obviously too, like you said, training his body to do that. So if he does it again, if he does it during the season, it doesn't his muscles ain't like, "Hey player,
Hey,
hey player, what you ain't gonna warn us
was
before you
that
do
your
this?
hammy?
You ain't gonna
I
warn
already.
us before you do." Yeah, like
No, there's a play. Oh, I was watching Training Camp Live the other day, and to your point, he dropped back, scan, nothing, and he darts down the middle of the field,
he
not
just took
scramble.
off.
I'm like, I mean, it might be nothing. It's camp or whatever, but I'm like, dog, we wasn't. That's not something he was doing consistently last year, bro.
Mhm. Yeah, so
Um,
sorry, I didn't mean to get off into that
that's fine.
tangent, but I do think it is something to note. The quarterback is coming back from a pretty major injury, and I think that we just sometimes get in the habit of like I know like before we get to training camp, sometimes we don't talk about him as much. We talk about all this stuff around him because we expect for him to be who he is, but seeing him adamantly like run the ball and it looks natural is something I think is intentional by him.
This ain't that.
Mm,
Hunter Lipke, he is something, a position when he was drafted here that I, was hoping we'd mold him into is starting to be
mhm,
molded into, which
mm.
is the Kyle Juszczyk role.
Mhm.
Like I never understood why he wasn't consistently used that way. Rookie year didn't play a whole lot. Second year he actually played over 300 snaps, so he got involved a little bit more. And you started to see him used more in that move around role. But you listen to Shotty, he's going out of his way to let you know he is a part of this offense. Let me read a couple quotes here and we could discuss Hunter Lipke.
Yeah.
He said, quote, I'm going to say it again. You guys don't have to write it down because I know you're tired of hearing it, but Hunter Lipke is an incredible football player. Just his instincts for the game and what he does and what he brings and the fact he's able to play 3 or 4 positions is incredible to me. I can't say enough great things about him, end quote. Get ready for, and look, I know a lot of people was like, Scott, what the hell are you talking about? This offense ain't going to look like the Rams or the Niners or the McDaniels or the O'Connells. That's exactly what it's looking like. And he's got his own version of Kyle Juszczyk, and I couldn't be more happy, man.
Can I say also too, this comes into play with how they're running the ball also, is like the combos and the duo blocking and things like that. A lot of the way that they're running the ball is contingent on the fullback usage or in what you're able to do leading off with him or him being involved and sealing off to the next level and stuff like that. Like I think that his usage is essential to what you want to do in the run game as well. Now,
Absolutely.
I think that Shoddy I think Mike McCarthy liked Hunter Lipke, but I feel like this is a different, that doesn't mean he understood or fully grasped how to use him.
Can I give you a bomb? Come on, man. I'm
I think
sorry,
he
y'all,
liked
because
him.
that was, come on.
Yeah. He might have liked him, like, I see his potential, but not every coach knows how to put it, like, into action, and I think Shotty had a plan for him coming in here. As a matter of fact, one of the things he said is that he felt like he shoulda got more users last year in general in the way he was used, so he
Same
already
thing
had
for
a
Turpin,
plan.
right? You may
Yeah,
have
yeah,
liked the guy, may have signed the guy, but you don't know how to use him.
yeah, to me, they're of the same ilk to me. I think they're in the same kinda category, and I think that those 2 together are really gonna could really potentially take your a run game that you're kind of uncertain about to the next level, and obviously Hunter helping out with the actual blocking aspect of things and being a receiver-esque type running back. But then also you got KaVontae Turpin. Like, we're gonna see those guys, and we've been seeing those guys. Those are the motion men. Those are the guys, like, and
And
even
tight
to, like,
ends.
yeah, the tight ends and obviously Turpin, like, I think that those are the guys that are going to throw off or set up some of the ways that some of these plays, like, create spacing and create, opportunity on the outside and stuff like that, because once enough people see, hey, they may hand this ball off to Hunter Lipke. Hey, they may drop this to him in the flats, and he got some wiggle in the open field. Hey, actually, you may think that he's blocking on this play, but he's just gonna leak right here. Like, I think he could change how defenses have to prepare for you if you're consistent with it. And then you get into a Turpin who is similar in that way as well. Somebody that you can use kind of across the line of scrimmage and do different things with. And in the backfield, I think both of those guys are 2 of the guys I'm looking most forward to. I understand the Pickens, the CD, and all that stuff, but to me, their usage is what is going to make people have to possibly play different defense at the start of the snap. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
yeah. The difference I think we're seeing with Schottenheimer is that he understands how important the usage of auxiliary pieces are.
Mhm,
Like if you have auxiliary pieces that are have a particular set of skills, you have to lean into that because it gives you a certain aspect of your to offense that you may not have had previously. And when you go
mhm,
look around the league, there all the offenses that I talk about have those auxiliary pieces that they use in that manner. We talked about San Francisco, right, with Kyle Juszczyk, and you can even throw in Jennings or what have you, because he's a bit of a bully in how they use him too. You go look in LA with the Rams. You're talking about Tutu Atwell, right? They use him
mhm.
in certain manners. You go even in Miami. Miami had a down year last year, but I forget their fullback's name. He's a guy used like a Kyle Juszczyk. You go look in Kansas City. I mean, you want to talk about a team that uses our auxiliary pieces? That's all they pretty much had the last 2 or 3 years since Tyreek Hill left. Is a bunch
Making
of
something out of
auxiliary
nothing.
pieces.
Yeah.
So the league is learning that, okay, yeah, I can have my top 2 guys, but the defenses and defensive coordinators are like, look, I'm not going to let you just beat me down in, down out with CD Lamb. So
Mhm.
are you able to utilize your auxiliary pieces? And I feel like Shoddy, look, these guys aren't going to be featured players, but that's fine because when you as a defense aren't featuring on them now, I get Hunter Lipke to leak out. There's a couple plays last year where it happened. You get a play action, Lipke leaks out, and he averaged almost 10 yards per reception, y'all.
Right.
10, he only had 12 of them, but he averaged almost 10 yards per reception. That's pretty good for a running back and a
Mhm.
fullback at that. You look at KaVontae Turpin, he averaged 11 yards per touch, y'all. He didn't get a whole lot of them, but he did it. He had 4 touchdowns, I think, is 2 years ago and two last year.
Yeah, the numbers suggest that when they touch the ball or if they're
It's
involved,
efficient.
there's something, yeah, the efficiency is there.
Yeah.
So you can't it's I don't think it's a gimmick. I don't think it's a game. I do think that this team understands, like, even like I said, in the run game, that with the guys that you have, and not saying that, we're gonna touch on running back, like, not saying that some guys aren't showing themselves and that you may not have something here. They are going to manufacture run game, and also to run it's considered run game, but it's really a pass. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to really lean into, seems like, running the ball with different guys
Oh yeah,
in,
yeah.
in different ways.
It now this can change. Shotty had brought this up in one of his first individual
Yeah.
press conferences, right? When they asked him about, hey, is this running back by committee? Is this? He said,
He
look,
said we
last
leaned into
year,
that last year a little
yeah,
too much for
last
me.
year we started off with that, and then it ended up with. So I don't think they'll have an answer there just yet. But pivoting to running backs, this ain't that. And you might be
Mm,
like, what you mean, Sky? I mean, this backfield ain't all that. Okay, but let me tell you why this ain't that. This
mm,
backfield, the juice that it has this camp or in general right now, barring all injuries, does differ, Cowboys Nation, from last year. That does not mean that, this is going to be some top five backfield. I'm just strictly speaking on the potential explosiveness and juice between, and I'm just going to be honest, it's mostly between Sanders and Blue. But even then, you throw in Turpin, right? Like you said. So
mhm.
you get, between Turpin, Blue, and Sanders, this type of explosion and potential big playability out the backfield ain't that of 2024.
Oh yeah, the offensive team speed in general is taking an uptick. Like I said, both in the way that they utilize the huddle, it seems like,
Oh, I
and
love that too.
dictating
Yeah.
tempo and things like that. It's also too in the guys that you just have in general. Like, if Turpin gets touches, if Miles Sanders gets touches, if Jadon Blue gets touches. Really hate that Deuce Vaughn is out with that hammy, because felt like he was getting some opportunity, and you were able to see some of the stuff he was able to do, bouncing to the outside and slipping between the tackles. Yeah, I think that the speed in general has taken an uptick on both sides of the ball, like defense and offense.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's important. Seems important to the staff, because Maris Leofow literally said, "I know that Eberflus wants us to play fast, so in the offseason, I worked my speed."
Mm-hmm.
So they want this team to be fast in general. I think on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. And I agree that the running back room this year does not feel like last year. I still felt more unsure, because I think that there's just a little bit more just natural talent here still. Even though it's
Yeah.
uncertain, we're uncertain about usage and stuff.
And
Miles Sanders
productivity.
and
I'm
productivity.
uncertain about like how productive they'll be because between Sanders and Javante, it's been a while, right? We know they have skills though, and then obviously you have a rookie back there, so it's just a big
Oh, I
question
wasn't
mark.
thinking about Javonte in that, but
Yeah,
I it's weird with him, because I do think we're hearing we're hearing Phil Maffa a little bit more as of late,
I mean you're
and
gonna be out
obviously,
there, so that's something you take a
yeah,
look
I'm
at.
definitely gonna be trying to keep an eye on, like, what they view them as, how they're designating running the ball. Because, for me, I want to be running back by matchup. Shit, I'm trying to be running back by, like, yes, I know you're going to designate, like, there's 2, 3 guys, because Shotty said that. He said sometimes it's 3 guys that you use. Sometimes it's, but I do want it to be like, hey, their corners don't like to set the edge when you make them. Like, they can't, this team can't set the edge. Let's use guys that can bounce to the outside and make people pay. I do want it to kind of be based on what that matchup calls for, in a sense. I mean,
Sure.
what do you think? Or how do you think that you want the ball to be
Well, I'm a fan
distributed?
of the committee approach if they are utilized to their skill sets. So
Yes.
I don't think you have a workhorse here. I think you have a rookie who is electric, who can catch the ball at the backfield and make big plays that deserves some touches in this offense. I think you have KaVontae Turpin, who's going to get some touches back there. I think between Williams and Sanders, you have to figure out who's going to be that veteran kind
Mhm.
of lead guy. And when I
I think
say
it's
lead,
Sanders.
yeah, well, I'm just saying they have to figure it out because right now it's from according to John, it is Williams and Sanders. It's like those two
Yeah.
guys are battling that thing out. One
Mhm.
day it's Williams, the next day it's Sanders. It's that thing.
Back
But
and forth.
either way, I don't think either of those guys exude excitement for me from a down in down out standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
But one of them is likely going to be your veteran lead guy. So I just don't think there is one dude back there that they're going to lean on. So when Shotty
No.
brings up three, I do think they're going to use three. I just hope it's better than how the Cowboys have historically used a committee approach. And I think Shotty will be a little better in that. But again, I mean, let me speak on the other, both sides of my mouth. This thing may turn into just one or two dudes by the middle of the year. It's such a big question mark to I that once again preseason is going to be the biggest benefactor for these running backs. Like they
Oh,
can't
yeah.
even tackle, even with the pads on. Like we are seeing some different things, and people are getting better. Like Jadon Blue is making big plays, or seeing Phil Moffitt's physicality and things like that. Preseason, I don't know. There's another position on this
Yeah, I
team
was about to say,
where
you
where
probably right, Sky.
preseason is going to be the determining factor.
Yeah,
You know?
it's huge, and then obviously, I can't wait because I'll be there for the Rams practice, and I think that'll tell us some information too,
Yeah.
especially with that little feisty defensive line they they putting together over there. Yeah, I agree with you. Like running back is kind of hard to evaluate right now in general, but I am listening to Shoddy. I do believe that they are going to use multiple guys for
I
different
think
stuff
so too.
in different times. So yeah, man, yeah, you're right. This ain't that. This don't feel like last year. This just still feels like questions, but it doesn't feel like questions on ability.
I like that thought. I like that thought. Yeah, because you're right. I think this year, I think I know what the skill set these guys bring. Right.
Mhm.
We know Miles Sanders is the shiftier of the guys. We know Phil Maffa is the downhill bowling ball. We know Javonte Williams can catch the ball at the backfield, can be a third down guy. We know what Blue is. He's a satellite type of back in a sense. He
And
also
let's see.
can get a runway and be out. He can catch. Hunter
Mhm.
Lipke is. We know what these guys can. But I think last year we was like, "Hey Zeke, it seems like we know the opposite. We know this ain't that from 2016. We know that Rico Dowdle, sure, we think he can be productive, but as a part of a tandem. I know he had 1,000 yards, but was anybody afraid of Rico Dowdle being your lead back and getting 1,000 yards? I would walk him. Please give the ball to Rico Dowdle 25 times a game. He didn't have a run for over 20 yards or 30 yards a whole season and 2 touchdowns. So no knock to Rico, but what fear is he striking in that sense? Where there's a
Mhm.
couple guys where it's like, hey, look, Blue would take that thing to the crib. Turp will take that
Right.
thing to the crib. Even
Facts.
Miles Sanders, if he gets a breakaway, he's likely going to at least get 130-yard run. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And then in regards to them, and I know we're gonna move on, in regard to some of the veterans, their experience is gonna serve them during this time. And I think that's what's been happening. Like you just see the vision is just a little bit better, obviously the blitz pickups, stuff like that. Like I think that those veterans are standing out a little bit more in certain spots because they are veterans. So
They know
to
the
me,
know-how. Yeah.
naturally, they know how this stuff goes, and obviously to read a defense and all that stuff. So, yeah, preseason is gonna be huge for these running
Huge.
backs, like you
Huge.
said, Sky.
Before we get out of here, like I said at the start of the show, if you guys missed it, 2I will be out there at training camp, giving you her reports on Twitter and here on the show as well. So, in the spirit of I in the sky with 2I,
Mhm.
where are your little antennas and eyes going to be focused at down there at camp? We don't have to like break down in detail, but just I do want to know like what are you excited to kind of take a look at when you get out there?
Yeah, immediately. Interior defensive line.
Mm.
Uh, I gotta get my eyes on what's what. I want to look at. And I think you guys talked about it a little bit. At this point, right? Like, if you're not gonna go get a defensive tackle, what you gonna do? What does this look like? Are y'all gonna be funneling? What is this? What's gonna be the goal? How much are you relying on your linebackers? Like,
Hmm.
just are you gonna always have to have a robber? Are you gonna always have to have a safety help out? Because the safeties got a little active yesterday.
I
I
think
love
they
that
are
for
going to be
I
a
love that
important
for them.
part
I love
of
that for
the
them.
filling
But
those
I also don't
alleys. Yeah.
right, but I also don't want my safeties to be beat up towards the middle of the year because they have to come down there.
Yeah, you want to win
So
with that front seven. Yeah.
yeah, so for me, I want to look at kind of where the pendulum is swinging when it comes to like how they are, and I'm not going to discredit Eberflus and White Cotton for trying to work with what they have. We've seen that happen here with defensive coordinators, but is it in what way is you doing it? So that's me. I'm truly trying to get my eyes on the interior defensive line. I think we know enough about these edges, and maybe not from a run stopping perspective. I'm keeping my eye on that, but I think I know enough about the edges, wrecking shop,
Yeah.
and I got it. What them people doing in the middle part?
Yeah.
Um, and then I think I also am gonna keep my eye on nickel cornerback. It's Sky. I want to be every game last year that you broke down and you would look across and you'd be like, hey, their nickel corner's food. You said think about how many times you said that last year and you was like, oh, CD's gonna eat. Oh, CD's gonna eat this game. CD's gonna eat this game because nickel corner is a place where people will find a favorable matchup and they will kill you on
They'll
it.
exploit it. Yeah.
And so whoever it is needs to step in and at least have some fight to them to where and have enough confidence that after they get beat, after they get knocked out of a play, when they trying to set the edge with their little tails, he can get back up and go do it. Nickel corner. And then obviously, like I said before, the usage of Turpin and Lipke. I want to get a better idea of like what it is that they envision these guys as, and again, how often we could realistically see them. So that's what I got. Those three things: defensive line, the interior part,
All
nickel corner.
three fantastic things to keep your eye on down there, and excited for what you have to report back to us. So you'll probably see us potentially later this week again, Cowboys Nation, breaking this thing down. And definitely you'll see us a whole lot more throughout the season. Like I said at the top of this is just the beginning of what we're doing. So really, really excited. Can't wait to get your reports out there too. And before we go, if you will, please hit that like button if you enjoyed today's show. Subscribe to the channel. We are going to be continuing to upload the audio versions of this podcast onto the podcast platforms. And if y'all missed it, before we get out of here, go run back Mina Kimes, who joined the show. Shouts out to 2i for throwing an alley-oop, for getting Mina Kimes on the show. That was so much fun. I'm excited for that. And hey, maybe she'll be back on here more often than people think.
Again.
So excited, man. So excited for this season and what's in store for our show. Have you fallen and gotten injured at work? You should probably call a lawyer.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan.
Morgan.
Did you know that your injury could be worth millions of dollars? Morgan & Morgan is the largest injury law firm in America, and they've recovered over $25 billion for their clients.
$25 billion? That's a hell of a lot of money.
If the insurance companies tried to lowball you, Morgan & Morgan is able to take the pain and suffering and turn it into cold, hard cash. But wait. How much is Morgan & Morgan gonna cost you? You never owe them legal fees unless they're successful.
That's right. You don't owe unless you win.
And if you don't know how to hire a lawyer and it sounds too hard, it's actually super easy. You can just go to their website and then in a couple clicks, you can find out if you have a case. You can literally do it from your smartphone. And remember, there's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Wait, there's more than one because, let me see the script. Oh, last name. Oh, okay, roll it.
You can start your claim today by going to forthepeople.com/Skywalker. The link in the description.